Hello guys, welcome back to the Self-Help Maths Academy. So today we will discuss about the one of the important concept which is very oftenly used in limits and continuity and differential calculus. So that is greatest integer function. It is called as greatest integer function. Okay. So let's understand what is this greatest integer function is all about and how one can study this greatest integer function. So let's start with let y is equal to f of x and it is equal to, say, this is denoted in this way under the square bracket. So this particular function we will denote in this way, and I'll just make you understand by using some examples. Suppose I want the greatest integer of, say, 4.3. So this will be equal to 4. Similarly, the greatest integer of, say, 5.6 you want, then this is equal to 5. So if I say greatest integer of 5.3, again it is equal to 5. Then on basis of what we are talking about this greatest integer, let me draw the graph with which I can make it clear. So here, if I just draw this graph, here you can say this is 0, this is 1, say 2, say 3, and further if you expand it, 4, 5, say 6, here it is minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, and minus 4, minus 5, and so on. Okay. So this is from minus infinity to infinity. This is a real line. So here I'm talking about 4.3. So 4.3 somewhere here it lies. Okay. So when I'm talking about the greatest integer function, so we have to see that particular integer which is going at the left side of it, and it has to be greatest one. So left side, if you see, so these all are the integers which are there. Okay. So minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, this 1, 2, 3, 4, all these are the left hand side. These are the integers which are lying on the left hand side of this 4.3. So among that, which is the greatest one? This 4 is the greatest one. So therefore, the greatest integer of 4.3 is 4. Similarly, I said 5.6. So 5.6 somewhere here it lies. It is 5.6 here. So which is the nearest integer to it? It is 5. Though there are many integers which are lying at the left hand side of it, but which is the greatest among it? It is 5. That's the reason it is called as greatest integer function. This is called as greatest integer function. So there are many integers which you can see at the left side of the required integer, like 4.3, 5.6, 6.7, whatever integer you take. So that particular integer will be having a lot many integers at the left hand side. In that, which is the greatest one, that will be it's the greatest integer function. Okay. So similarly, you can say 5.3. If you take 5.3, somewhere here it lies. Again, 5 will be the greatest integer of this 5.3. Okay. Similarly, or this is about the positive integer. So what if I say, so similarly, if I take say 1.2, the greatest integer of this will be equal to 1. Similarly, if you take say, if I go with the minus 1. So for example, if I take minus 3.4, then if you write it as minus 3, then this is absolutely wrong. I am just talking about the left hand side of the function. So if you just see 3.4, so minus 3.4 means somewhere here it lies. So this is minus 3. So minus 3.4, somewhere here it lies. So which is the integer which lies left side to this? It is minus 4, not minus 3. So usually children will do the mistakes by writing it as minus 3, which is wrong. So what is the correct option? Actually, it is minus 4. So therefore, the greatest integer of minus 3.4 is, it is not minus 3, but it is minus 4. Similarly, the greatest integer of say minus 6.1 if you want to write. So clearly you can see here it is minus 5, here it is minus 6. So minus 6.1 means here it is not minus 6, but it has to be minus 7. So like this, guys, so this actually indicates the greatest integer of this function. So likewise, if we go, then what about the greatest integer of, say, you have the value like pi. What is the greatest integer of pi? So pi value, you know, it is 3.14 and so on. So it is reoccurring. So 3.14 means you can see here 3.14 means somewhere here it lies. So the greatest integer of 3.14 is what? It is 3. So this is equal to 3. What about the greatest integer of minus 5? So minus 5, if you take, it is minus, say, 3.14 and so on. So minus 3.14. So minus 3.14 means somewhere here it lies. So the greatest integer of this will be equal to minus 4. So this will be equal to minus 4. So like this, you should be in a position to understand what is the greatest integer of the function. So in general, if suppose you are having the greatest integer of x, if x is any integer, then it is x only. For example, greatest integer of 5, it is equal to 5. Greatest integer of 6, it is equal to 6. Greatest integer of 7, it is equal to 7. And greatest integer of minus 2, it is equal to minus 2. So if you have integer here inside, then that itself is the greatest integer of its. But if you are having like this 4.3, 5.6, 5.3, 1.2 like that, then you have to write the integer. So by this you will understand that whatever you will be having in the bracket, so when it comes out, you will be having here integer. You will be having the integer. Though you are having here the decimal points, like see 4.3 or 5.6. So it's a real number, right? So when it comes here, it will be an integer. So from this, you can just make out one important thing. What is the domain of this function? Okay. So the domain of this function, if you see, like clearly, when you have seen the real line, right? When I just drawn the complete real line, so that will indicate us that so whatever the elements I'm taking, it is on the real line only. So I may take 4.3, I may take 5.7, I may take minus 1.3. I mean, like any element, whichever I'm taking, this is on the real line, correct? It is on the real line. So that implies domain of this greatest integer function is R. The domain of the greatest integer function is R. But when I'm taking the greatest integer of them, so for example, if I take the greatest integer of 4.3, what I have got? I've got 4. The greatest integer of 5.7, it is equal to 5. The greatest integer of minus 1.3, if you see this, say this is 0 and this is minus 1, this is minus 2. I'm talking about minus 1.3, here it lies, it is equal to minus 2. So all these values are what? They're integers. So therefore, the range of this function, is the integer set. Okay. So the domain of this function is the real set, whereas the range of this function is an integer set. Okay. So this is one thing. Now, I will tell you one of the interesting fact about this particular function. So let's understand what is this. So if suppose we will take, say, if I consider, say, x is equal to 2.1, this implies the greatest integer of x, where x is what? 2.1. So if you want to write, you can write it as 2.1. This is equal to what? 2. So if suppose x is equal to, say, 2.2, this implies the greatest integer of, say, 2.2 will be equal to again 2. If x is equal to 2.4, this implies the greatest integer of 2.4 is again 2. So on, if you continue, you can take up to 2.9. So this greatest integer also will be equal to 2. So what it indicates? So this indicates that if suppose x belongs to the semi-open interval 2, comma 3, where 2 is included but not 3, this implies the greatest integer of the x, where x belongs to this semi-interval, this will be equal to 2. Similarly, if x belongs to the semi-open interval, say 3 and 4, if you take, where 3 included, 4 not included. What do you mean by this? Whether you take 3.1, whether you take 3.2, whether you take 3.3, like this, if you continue up to, say, 3.9, so all these greatest integer functions are what? It is 3 only. So that is the meaning. So like this implies the greatest integer of this x, where it lies between 3 and 4, will be equal to 3. Similarly, x belongs to the greatest integer function for semi-open interval 4, 3. This implies the greatest integer function of x will be equal to here 4. Okay. So what exactly we are trying to do here? You take the interval where x belongs to this interval, semi-open interval, whether x belongs to this semi-open interval, x belongs to this semi-open interval, we have the greatest integer function like this. Okay, so if you draw a graph, actually it will be more clear when I draw a graph. So say this is our graph. If we draw along x-axis and y-axis, when we draw this graph, see, for example, if I take this as, I just change the color for, this is my 0, say this is 1, this is say 2, this is say 3, 4, 5, this is -1, -2, -3, -4, and it is on the complete real line. Similarly, -1. So here you can take 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So here it is -1, -2, -3, -4, and so on. So if I take this interval, guys, like where between 1 and, if you just see the same way, if suppose here x belongs to 1 and 2, so semi-open interval. So between this interval, like what if, what I'm trying to say here, if x is equal to say 1.1, the greatest integer of this will be 1. Say it is 1.2, it is again 1. If it is 1.3, again it is 1. Say up to 1.9, if you take, it is again 1. That means the semi-open interval between 1 2, this will be equal to 1. So here the same thing, again I just change the color here. So see, 1 2, between 1 and 2, where 1 included and 2 excluded, so this will be having the greatest integer function as 1. It will not, up to 1 to 1.9, so 2 will not be included. I think, let me take different color here, but yeah, so this is included, this is excluded. Between 1 to 2, 1 up to 1.9, so you, that will take the integer as this only. Between 2 to 3, if you take, then 2 is included, but your 3 will not be included. Similarly, go between 3 to 4, then 3 will be included, but your 4 won't be included. Similarly, when you go for 4 to 5, then 4 will be included, but 5 won't be included. Similarly, when you come on the left hand side here, so here what you will see, this -1 will be included, this won't be included. Similarly, when you come to this, between in this interval, here -2 will be included. Okay, so this won't be included, and so on it continues. If you see this particular line, when this particular line, you take this line, if you just take a line which is passing through this origin, this will denote y is equal to x. It's a line which is passing through this origin. Okay, so this denotes the greatest integer function graph. Okay, so this is how actually the greatest integer function graph looks like. So where already I discussed the domain of this function. If you see, guys, the domain of this function is completely R. Okay, so it is on the complete real line, whereas the range of these functions are only the integers. Okay, so the range of this function is only the integers. Okay, so this is very important note. Hope, I think till this point the things are clear. Okay, so now let's move on to the properties of this greatest integer functions. We will just discuss some related properties which are equally important. Okay, the properties of the greatest integer functions. Okay, let's see. So some of the properties, for example, they're simple. The greatest integer function of greatest integer. So integer, the greatest integer function of this, like integer, will be again a greatest integer. Okay, so for example, you take the greatest integer of 3, it is equal to 3. Again you take the greatest integer of it, again it is what, is equal to 3. So it is the same thing. Okay, then similarly, second property, it says that if you just take say x minus 1 is equal to the greatest integer of x, which is less than or equal to x. So for example, if you take x is equal to say 3, if you take x is equal to 3, then what is 3 minus 1 will be, this will be equal to 2, that is say 2 here. This will be less than or equal to what, 3, where x is 3. So greatest integer of 2 is what, it is 2. So 2 is always less than or equal to 3. So this is the, again, one of the property of greatest integer. I'm just showing you the properties with the help of examples. Okay, so that it will be clear. If you take x is equal to 4, it is say 4 minus 1 is what, it is 3. So greatest integer of 3 will be what, greatest integer of 3 is 3, which is less than or equal to your x is 4. That's all. Okay, so this is how the second property we can think of. And similarly, the third property says that the greatest integer function of x plus the greatest integer function of minus x will be equal to minus 1 if x does not belongs to integer, and it is equal to 0 if x belongs to integer. So what do you mean by this? So for example, if I take, say, x is equal to 2, if I take x is equal to 2, what will happen? Let's see. This will be 2, greatest integer of 2 plus greatest integer of minus 2. So greatest integer of 2 is what? It is 2. Greatest integer of minus 2 is what? It is minus 2. This is equal to 0. Where x is equal to 2 is what? It belongs to the integer, which is positive integer. No problem. So similarly, if x is equal to 2.3, which does not belongs to integer, it is not an integer, it is a real number. That's what it is saying. If x belongs to integer, this value will be equal to 0. This is what I shown you here. If x does not belongs to integer, that means, for example, x is equal to, say, 2.3, which is not an integer. So if that is the case, let me take this as 2.3 here plus integer of minus 2.3. So greatest integer of this plus greatest integer of this. So this implies, what is the greatest integer of 2.3, guys? It is 2 here. And greatest integer of minus 2.3, it is not minus 2. Again, I just to show you why I'm telling you specifically with the minus 1, you have to be very, very careful, because many people will do the mistakes here only. So whenever you feel that you are not understanding minus related greatest integer, try to draw the graph, you will understand it quickly. So here you can see minus 2.3, here is minus 2.3. Whenever the greatest integer concept comes, we have to see the left hand side immediate. So immediate left hand side means it is minus 3, not minus 2. So clearly you should write here minus 3 is your greatest integer of minus 2.3. So this will give you what? Minus 1. So therefore this property holds. So this property says that the greatest integer of x plus greatest integer of minus x is equal to minus 1 when if x is not belongs to I. Not belongs to I means it may be a real number. Real number may be positive, may be negative, right? And strictly when it belongs to integer, then obviously the value will be equal to 0. So this is what you have to remember. This is also one of the important property. Okay, so this is one thing. So then the one more important property we do have. So for example, if you have the greatest integer of x plus, say, I, this is equal, this we can write it as the greatest integer of x plus I. We can write this as greatest integer of x plus I. But what is I? I is an integer. This is an integer. Okay, so let's see what is the particular property says. So if I take this as, say, 6.2, this is x, say 6.2, and I is my integer, say 3. If I'm taking, this will be equal to what? This is the greatest integer of 6.2 plus 3. This is what they're saying. Okay, so this is how we have to write. That is the meaning. So this means what? 6.2 plus 3. Actually, what you will get here? 6.2 plus 3. If you just add it, it is the greatest integer of 9.2, and greatest integer of 9.2 is what? It is 9. Here you can see the greatest integer of 6.2 is what? It is 6 plus 3, which is equal to 9. That means this is one of the, again, important property of the greatest integer function. So clearly here I is an integer. Okay, so we'll just simply simple examples we will solve here. So let's understand, say, some examples. So if suppose they ask us to find out what is the value of x, not the integer value of x, they're asking us to find out the what is the value of x here. If it is given as integer greatest integer of the function x square minus 7 into the greatest integer of x plus 12 is equal to, say, 0. Okay, so this is the given stuff. Now what we do here, let I take the greatest integer of x is equal to, say, y. The greatest integer of x is equal to, say, y. If you take this, then what this function will become? This function will become y square minus 7y plus 12 is equal to 0. So here after multiplication I should get 12. After addition or subtraction I should get minus 7. That means it is y square minus 3y minus 4y plus 12 is equal to 0. I can take y out. It is y minus 3. and here minus 4 I can take out, it is y minus 3 is equal to 0. This implies y minus 3, y minus 4 is equal to 0. This implies y is equal to 3 and 4. So if the greatest integer of x is equal to 3, this implies, already we have discussed where x must should belongs to, x must belongs to the semi open interval 3 and 4, that is the semi open interval 3 and 4, then only your greatest integer of x is equal to 3. This is valid for this interval. Similarly, your greatest integer of x is equal to 4 if when it is true, when your x belongs to the semi open interval 4 5. So this implies your x belongs to what then? This is the union of both, that is x belongs to the semi open interval 3 5, where it included 3 but excluded 5. So this is the value of x for this particular example. Similarly, so they may ask you the questions like this. Say for example, one more question we will see. Say for example, if it actually includes here 8 is less than or equal to the greatest integer function x, which is less than or equal to say 10. Okay, so that implies, what are the values here for x? What are the values for x here? It includes 8 and 10. That implies it includes 8 here, it includes 9 and 10. So 8, 9, 10 are the values which are there between this. Okay, so therefore if suppose the greatest integer function of x is equal to say 8, so this implies, what is x belongs to then? X belongs to the interval 8, semi open interval 8 9. So this is what we know. So similarly, if x is equal to, the greatest integer of x is equal to say 9, this implies your x belongs to 9 10, semi open interval 9 10. Similarly, if suppose your greatest integer of x is equal to 10, this implies your x belongs to the semi open interval 10 11. Okay, so this will give you the idea. Now what about the x then? Where x belongs to? X belongs to the semi open interval 8 9, semi open interval 9 10, semi open interval 10 11, means it includes from 8 to semi open interval 11. So your x belongs to this particular, semi open interval. So this is how the greatest integer function actually works. So this is actually the some glimpse of the greatest integer functions, guys. If you have any doubts, anything, please comment it in the box, and we will just try to solve further. Okay, and if you just like the video, subscribe the channel, and you know click on the bell icon so that you will get the next updates. So with this, we will conclude today's discussion, guys. Take care. See you all in the next discussion. Till then, take care.